Donald Trump sentenced to unconditional discharge in landmark hush money case. In a historic courtroom ruling that will undoubtedly leave a profound impact on the American legal and political landscape, U.S. President-elect Donald Trump has been sentenced to an unconditional discharge by Justice Juan Merchan. The decision effectively ends the first criminal trial of a former U.S. president, sparing Trump from any penalties, including jail time or fines, while still allowing him to assume office as the first U.S. president with a felony conviction. A case like no other. The courtroom, filled with a mix of reporters, legal experts, and curious onlookers, fell silent as Justice Merchan began delivering the verdict. Never before has this court been presented with such a unique and remarkable set of circumstances, he said, his tone measured but firm. This is a truly extraordinary case that has tested the limits of our legal and political institutions. The case centers around allegations that Trump orchestrated hush money payments to silence individuals during his 2016 presidential campaign, purportedly to avoid damaging revelations that could have affected his chances of winning the presidency. The payments, deemed illegal campaign contributions, formed the crux of the felony charges brought against him. Throughout the trial, Trump maintained his innocence, denouncing the proceedings as a politically motivated witch hunt. The defense argued that the payments were personal expenditures, not campaign-related, while the prosecution painted them as deliberate attempts to subvert electoral transparency and accountability. The sentence: unconditional discharge. After weeks of legal wrangling and high-stakes courtroom drama, Justice Merchan opted for an unconditional discharge, a rare sentence that does not impose penalties but leaves the conviction intact. This decision was not made lightly, he explained. While the defendant's actions are serious and warrant condemnation, the unique context of this case calls for a tempered response that balances accountability with the broader implications for our democracy. In practical terms, the sentence means Trump will face no immediate consequences, such as imprisonment or financial penalties. However, the conviction remains on his record, a symbolic stain on his legacy that will forever distinguish his presidency. Legal scholars are already debating the long-term implications of this unprecedented decision, with some arguing it sets a dangerous precedent for future leaders, while others see it as a pragmatic resolution to an otherwise volatile situation. Trump responds: totally innocent. Appearing via video call from his Mar-a-Lago estate in Florida, Trump remained defiant in the face of the ruling. Flanked by his attorney and two prominently displayed American flags, he addressed the court with characteristic bravado. "I'm totally innocent," he declared, his voice steady but forceful. "This is nothing more than a continuation of the greatest political witch hunt in American history. But let me be clear, nothing will stop me from fighting for the American people." Trump's supporters, many of whom had gathered outside the courthouse waving banners and chanting slogans, erupted in cheers upon hearing his remarks. Meanwhile, critics expressed dismay at what they perceived as a lenient outcome, arguing that it undermines the principle that no one is above the law. The political fallout. The ruling has already sparked intense debate across the political spectrum. Democrats and progressive activists have voiced frustration, viewing the sentence as insufficient accountability for actions they believe threaten the integrity of the democratic process. "A felony conviction with no consequences is not justice," said Senator Elizabeth Warren in a scathing statement. "This decision sends a dangerous message that powerful individuals can evade responsibility for their actions." On the other hand, Trump's Republican allies have hailed the decision as a vindication, framing it as evidence of his resilience in the face of relentless opposition. President-elect Trump has been through more scrutiny than any leader in modern history, and he's come out stronger every time, said House Speaker Kevin McCarthy. This ruling clears the way for him to deliver on his promises to the American people. Legal and historical implications. Legal experts are divided on the significance of the sentence. Some see it as a pragmatic compromise that avoids the chaos of imprisoning a sitting president while still upholding the principle of legal accountability. Others, however, worry it sets a troubling precedent. "This case will be studied for generations," said constitutional law professor Lawrence Tribe. "It raises profound questions about how we hold leaders accountable without destabilizing our democratic institutions." Historically, the case marks an extraordinary chapter in American politics. Trump is now the first U.S. president to face criminal charges, let alone a felony conviction, while preparing to assume the highest office in the land. The dual realities of his legal and political status underscore the deep divisions and unprecedented challenges facing the nation. Reactions from around the world. The international community has watched the trial with keen interest, recognizing its implications for global perceptions of American democracy. Leaders from allied nations have largely refrained from commenting directly, though some have expressed concern about the polarization reflected in the case. In contrast, adversaries like Russia and China have used the trial to highlight what they see as flaws in the U.S. political system. The spectacle of a president-elect on trial is a reminder of the instability inherent in Western democracy, said a spokesperson for China's foreign ministry. What comes next? As Trump prepares to take office, his presidency is already shaping up to be unlike any other. The conviction will undoubtedly loom large over his administration, influencing everything from his legislative agenda to his relationships with Congress and the judiciary. Meanwhile, ongoing investigations into other aspects of his business and political dealings could pose further legal challenges. For now, however, Trump remains focused on his return to the White House. In a statement issued shortly after the sentencing, he pledged to restore faith in our country and fight for the forgotten men and women of America. His supporters, undeterred by the legal battles, remain steadfast in their belief that he is the leader best equipped to navigate the nation's challenges. Conclusion: the sentencing of Donald Trump in the hush money case is a watershed moment in American history, blending elements of legal drama, political intrigue, and constitutional complexity. It underscores the tensions between accountability and stability, justice and pragmatism, that define a deeply polarized era. As the nation grapples with the implications of this landmark ruling, one thing is clear: the story of Donald Trump's presidency, already marked by unprecedented twists and turns, is far from over.